Hello again, welcome back. As I keep mentioning every time I will be discussing to a total new subject. And today's topic is about the Syrian civil war. The Syrian civil war is believed to be a complex conflict that involves several other nations, rebel groups, and terrorist organizations. First, the conflict studied as a non-violent protest in 2011, and it turns out it took all different turns and escalated into a full-blown warfare. To this conflict, it was reported that more than 570,000 people have been killed, over 1 million to flee their home, over 1 million injured, and a strong percentage were forced to flee their homes and live as refugees in other countries. It is said that the Syrian war find linked to an event called the Arab Spring. This event is considered as a significant trigger for fueling the war. In what is exactly the Arab Spring? The Arab Spring is a series of pro-democracy uprisings that enveloped several large Muslim countries such as Tunisia, Morocco, Syria, Libya, Egypt, and Bahrain. It began in December 2010, where a Tunisian street vendor set himself on fire to protest the arbitrary seizing of his vegetable by police because he couldn't afford a permit. And this event was considered to be a catalyst to provoke many other revolutions in Tunisia, like the Jasmine Revolution. Now back to the Syrian war, which is the main focus of our discussion. It is believed to be political and economic tensions that broke out, and one of the major events that sparked the war was the arrest and torture of 15 Syrian children, and one of them was killed by the Bashar al-Assad government. And the Syrian people were fed up with this, and they took the street not only to ask for the release of the remaining children, but also to ask for freedoms and better conditions of living in Syria, and also ask for the resign of the President Bashar al-Assad, which exactly was denied and the president refused, and obviously that was motive to disagreements between his government and the opposition, and the war broke out. The war is believed to be under a multi-layered crisis. Like it is said, like the government incompetency to lead the country fairly, economic, without mentioning economic and human rights crisis, drought also that the country suffers, and that the government wouldn't find a mean to resolve this issue, and also political religious concerns. And why religious concerns? It was because the majority of the Syrian people are said to be Sunni Muslims, and actually the chef leaders they are said to be Shia Alawite sect, and this was a point for disagreements between the people and the leaders. Now countries that took part in the Syrian war was because the Bashar al-Assad government was supported by Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah, which is a militia in Lebanon. And also this war evoked creation of many other terrorist organizations like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They also took part and contribute to wars and chaos in the region. Now talking about the peace prospect, conflict resolution. Peace process have been ongoing since the Syrian war started in 2011. The principal mediators for that peace process was UN Special Envoy, Russia, and Western powers. The Arab Leagues launched two initiatives, but were unsuccessful, unfortunately, and with the help of Russia in January 2012 and November 2013 started peace talk in Moscow between the Syrian government and the opposition. And also the UN with its former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan and the Arab League discussed to lead the Geneva II conference that involves many other officials like the US, the EU, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, Iran to peace negotiations, and also Kazakhstan in 2017 that offers to be a neutral venue for the peace negotiations. And finally, in October 2019, was drafted a new constitution for Syria under the auspices of the UN and the Syrian Constitutional Committee. Even after a decade of fighting, there is still no peaceful resolution for the ongoing war in Syria. But we can say that this war has wreaked havoc in the Middle Eastern, with a number of horrors and trauma for the rest of the survivors. And for this, we can say that the future of Syria is uncertain. However, with the increasing reports of COVID-19 in Syria, it showed that the responsibles wouldn't engage in another year of fighting. Thank you for your time and assistance. This was a resume of the Syrian war. Thank you for appreciating my videos.